a classic, guys. And it's appropriate because Phillip Patterson is joining us. Phillip is married to a Persian lady, as far as I know. So this song, Phillip must know this song. And if he doesn't, we gotta teach him. And all of you, you gotta know this song. All right, Phillip, we gotta do the intro because you gotta know the song. Do you know the song? Wait for it. Let's see, Phillip. You know the song?
Ballet, I've heard this song before.
You have, I know you have. So I'll keep it on the background because the chorus is gonna come on. You definitely know the chorus. It's the story of your life. It's about Doktari Runi, Iranian girl. But we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll continue that. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Happy Tuesday. Happy being done with finals. Are you? I see some basketball. You probably have a beer and basketball.
Yeah, the final yesterday whooped me. It was not pretty. I'm glad I took it pass fail, and we'll see what shakes out on the back end. But the professor was a little overzealous, I think. It was a brutal exam.
Was it? It was so not a paper. It was like an actual timed exam.
So our law school, bless their hearts, decided to move testing software in the middle, actually toward the end of this semester, instead of waiting to be between semesters. Yeah. So they went from EBB, I think, to ExamSoft, and problem after problem after problem with the rollout. This is the same company that crashed during the Michigan bar earlier this year. Yeah. During the bar exam, and anyway, he gave us, it was 50 multiple choice, but he writes his like bar exam multiple choice questions.
Oh my God, he's so intense. He goes through the time. That's like takes so much time to write a test like that.
But there were 50 multiple choice, 35 short answer in 3 hours. So 85 questions in 180 minutes, and it was
oh my God.
It was a burner. I had friends that left 10, 15, 25 questions on the table, didn't get to them. I don't know.
Your professor is an intense professor. He designed his own mini bar exam just for your class.
It was brutal. So I don't know. I'm still licking my wounds and trying to push it deep down inside, you know.
Keep pushing it, Phillip. Just keep pushing them down. So what do we say, Phillip, in Farsi when someone just finishes a long project and they're so proud and you see them, you're like,
Tabrik migam chi.
No, tabrik migam is great. If you pass your test, tabrik migam, khaste nabashid.
Khaste nabashid, but bale, khaste nabashid.
So tell us, Phillip, what's your story with Farsi?
So it's a long story. I was born and raised in Alabama, single mother, you know, dad kind of wasn't around, typical white trash, I guess. I don't know how you want to call me growing up. One thing led to the other. I joined the Air Force in 1995, and I went in to become a linguist, a foreign language specialist. And I wanted German. My grandmother's from Germany. She's first generation. I had Spanish as my number 2 because where can you not use Spanish? Yeah. And up until about 2 weeks before basic training finished up, I had Spanish. And the drill instructor took me into his office and said, the needs of the Air Force dictate you choose one of these languages. And he had a list. Okay. And I probably did not know much about Iran. If anything, I guarantee you I did not know that Farsi was a language.
You mean they're planning to bomb Iran as far as back 1995?
I mean, well, I mean, so you want to talk about Mossadegh and go back to 1953?
Yeah, no, I'm joking. I'm joking. Yeah. That's amazing. Okay, so there was a list. So then, like, how many? 10 or how many were on the list?
I don't even remember, but I saw Persian hyphen Farsi. That's how the military designates it. So I said, that's got a hyphen. Give me
no, honestly, let's pause in that moment. Like, what were you thinking? That's like literally, was it the hyphen or the coolness? Like, what was it about?
That was basically it. Yeah, I mean, I really had no frame of reference. I had a list. I don't remember what was all on it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the Persian that caught me, and I thought about probably
Yeah.
some short little blurb in world history from high school about the Persian
Yeah. Yeah.
Empire.
Something piqued your curiosity for that.
Right. So
Okay.
that turned into me, doing that for the military, and I was actually in Arlington, Virginia, studying Tajiki for a year.
Which,
And
so random fact, I grew up in Uzbekistan for 5 years. So Samarkand, Bukhara on the border of Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, they speak Farsi, but the very old style of Farsi. I didn't know it's called Tajiki. We call it like Dari, like old style Farsi.
so the way, well, we're not
Yeah.
the authority on it, but the way that the military breaks it down is Farsi in Iran, Dari in Afghanistan, and of course Pashto, and then Tajiki in Tajikistan, and yes, Bukhara and Samarkand are mostly Old Persian Jews, as I recall.
Yeah.
And they do speak that also. And the Soviets the former Soviet Union kind of messed that up when they split that up. They
Yeah.
probably should have given Bukhara and Samarkand to Tajikistan. I know they've got a lot of natural gas reserves. I think they've almost got into it over those two cities in the past.
That whole history, I just finished a 2,000-page masterpiece of a work of history by Stephen Kotkin. He's a Princeton history professor on Stalin. And the volume 3 is coming out. These are just volume 1 and 2, but he tells the story of the world and that era. Like he always says, I use Stalin as a trope to tell the story of like Eurasia, so Europe, Asia, Central Asia from 1880 to like 1949.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, it's up to 1941, the volume 2, and it's been magnificent. Exactly what you say, like the amount of arbitrariness that when it was like some planning department after Soviets took over, and they literally, some staffers, like 2 junior staffers that are like 22 from like Siberia, get to draw a map of where like Tajikistan and Uzbekistan gotta fall.
Yeah. I mean, that is what it is. What are you gonna do? It's funny because they use Cyrillic instead of Arabic script, and they've kind of made a conscious choice to not change it, from what I understand, because they're worried about the influx of Farsi material, and they think that it would effectively kill what is now their language over a period of time. So it's interesting to hear them talk. Their rhythm is different, just like an Afghan's rhythm is different.
Yeah, this is Philip. This is Philip in Cyrillic, Philip. So that's a F, that's an E, that's an L, Cyrillic L, E, and N is a Cyrillic P.
So you're writing in cursive font, which I do not know in Cyrillic. I do not know that in Cyrillic. Let me think about this one. I know
Farsi too. I would love to see your Farsi handwriting.
this should be is that backwards? That should be Shoma, right?
Shoma.
That's how the Tajiks write it, for Shoma.
Oh,
Shoma.
in there. Oh, got it. Wow. Okay. Can you write Philip in that so we can compare? Because I have the Russian Cyrillic.
Well,
and I play your favorite song.
This is print. This is like typewriter print. I don't know how to write in handwriting in Cyrillic.
Yeah, this is Shuma.
This is the sh, the u.
Yeah.
But you know what's nice about Tajiki is that they write their short vowels.
That's Shoma in Russian Cyrillic. Shuma.
Yes, yours is handwriting. This would be like from a typewriter.
Oh, cool.
I don't know handwriting.
You read those military reports, so what can I say? I'm sure they were typed up.
Yeah, it's just that they only have so many resources, and you tend to read newspapers and reports more so than you do handwritten.
Okay, sorry. So take us. You picked this language in 1995 Farsi. You don't know anything else about it. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I ended up out in Monterey, California, which is where the language school is, and all my instructors were natives. Most
the best in the world, right?
I would say they are, and you know, they were all Iranian native speakers, most of them from the time of the Shah that fled after the revolution. So I had former generals and, you know, doctors, you know, heart surgeons, people that were just trying to make their way in the world. And they were wonderful. You know, I got to deal with people from all over Iran, people from Rash, and I would hear Gilaki, which I still can't understand at all.
Hey,
know,
neither can we.
yeah, and the funny thing is, I don't know if you can tell, I have light eyes, and when my
Yep.
Farsi developed to a certain point, people, you know, are you Iranian? I'd be like, I'm half Iranian. I'm from Rasht, and then they're like, what? I'd say, yeah, Kalemahi Mikhorem, and they would go, oh, I'm like, no, no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I just happened to learn it.
Yeah, that's funny,
So
man.
yeah, but yeah, did that, learn Tajiki. I met my wife when I was studying Tajiki. Her and her sister were checking the mail in our apartment building, and I heard them speaking, so I had to use, you know, non-Iranian dude that speaks Farsi to get my first date. And
That's pretty hot, man. That's really hot. I don't think I've ever seen that.
yeah, you know, they're out there. I was in
So,
Chicago at one. Go ahead.
so let me ask you the $1 million question. Did your wife and her sister or her mom?
It was her sister.
Her sister, were they talking about you when you overheard them? Did they say anything about you?
No, they had their back to me actually.
Okay,
So
okay.
but I was walking up to all the mailboxes in the apartment
Yeah,
complex.
yeah.
I think her sister said, you know, are you married? And I said, no. Can she cook Iranian food? And that was
You passed the sister test. That's awesome. Okay, so you go on your first date. And where are you? You're still in Monterey. So you met in
no.
Monterey.
We met in Arlington. We
Uh,
met in 2003. So I'd been in the military for 8 years at that point.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Met in
Wow.
'03.
And
And
like, what do you want to talk about, Phil? Like, how was life in military? Any cool stories or
you know,
events?
uh, the military. I have mixed feelings. I mean, every country, not every country. I don't think Costa Rica has a military right now, but most people have it. It's an instrument of
Yeah, let's talk about you. Like, I'm more interested. Like, how did you change in that period? Like, anything cool happen you want to share? Like, yeah,
yeah. It got me out of a rural part of Alabama. It got me out of um, a circle of friends and acquaintances that, you know, there's a fair amount of them that are still there, and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
the way they view the world has not changed
yeah.
in a lot of ways from the way it was when I left in '95. Um, you know, I got to live on the West Coast. I got to live in the central part of the U.S. And of course, I've been to Saudi, you know, 8 times, and
Yeah.
Turkey twice, and
Yeah,
Romania and Kuwait
yeah,
and
yeah.
Uzbekistan. I was at Karshi-Khanabad in
And
Uzbekistan.
career, like, did you like enjoyed? You know, it wasn't just a travel, right? It was you're somebody, you're doing something. Like
Yeah,
you're,
you do. You build a lot of really good friendships,
yeah,
relationships, you know, memories. You work as a team.
yeah,
Um, the the military has a lot of times, you know, they integrated before the country integrated as far
yeah,
as
yeah, yeah.
African Americans are concerned.
Dude, just what do you learn about how a great institution runs, like regardless of anything else, like because I just took a one month business course at Yale, and a lot of the case studies were the military because like this is a huge organization. Like in some of these aircraft carriers, I mean, you tell us, but like even to house and to wash and feed 17,000 people like on a cruise ship, like imagine how many people are involved, and this is like weapons and military. I mean, just the how a machine runs, like you learn all of that, right?
Yeah, it's so everybody specializes and they
Yeah.
know their piece, and they get really good at their piece. This is more on the enlisted side, on the soldier side.
You're gonna
Officers,
do transactional work easy, my friend. You're gonna get those M&A deals and close them in like 20 days.
oh, we'll see. You know, it's getting in the door. You know that, Ali. Um, but it's everybody knows their piece. They're
Yeah,
really good at their piece,
yeah,
and then they know the big goal. So everybody is just
yeah.
lockstep.
And it makes you become so much better at what you do when you're surrounded by people who are best at what they do, right?
It's true. We're an all volunteer military, of course, and So the people are there. Some people go because of meager financial means. They're poor, and it's a way for them. That's true. But I worked with Harvard grads and Yale
Yeah.
grads. I mean, and oddly enough, I mean, I won't say that it isn't definitely tilted to the right as far as most people's political leanings in the military, but you have slice a city or a demographic of the
Yeah.
United States, and it's there.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So
What a
everybody thinks,
beautiful image. What a beautiful image. In
yeah,
fact, it's not even just a city. You slice society
right,
and slices there. That's
yeah,
the military. That's
yeah.
beautiful.
So I've served with straight, gay,
Yeah.
Christian, Muslim, atheist,
Yeah.
from the South, from the North, people that were 27 and joined and never had a driver's license because they
Yeah.
lived in New York and didn't need one.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
um,
And
it's neat.
everyone has their personal reason. It's kind of like college. Like one of the things I liked about college is everyone has their story for being there or their reason. And same with
Yeah,
military. You meet these kids who are from completely different places in the world, like college, like a place like Berkeley. And they all have their reason, like, their particular specific reason, like in your case, and all of your comrades' case. So it's like, it's beautiful.
yeah, and people that I served with now are in politics. Had another friend that was actually instrumental in getting the "Don't Ask, Don't Tell" policy repealed.
Yeah.
Uh, and people I worked with were head of cybersecurity for SpaceX and head of aviation policy for Loon Telecommunications, which is a
Yeah.
Google subsidiary. They were enlisted. They weren't officers, and they're out killing it in private sector now as misters.
Speaking of paths you go to, then how did you become Mr. Lawyer in Training, Esquire?
So I got out of the military. I retired in 2014, which is weird to say. That's over 6 years ago. I retired. Worked in private sector a little bit. Worked for Edward Jones and their financial advisor program as a trainee. They still build their business, knocking on doors. Wasn't my
Sorry, let's stop. So you were at the military for 19 years total?
just shy of 20, 19 years, 4 months, and 15 days. They had an early retirement incentive, and I
Yeah.
took it.
So was that an emotional decision to leave that whole? Because like you said, you were trying to find who you are after it. Like it's such a pivotal transformation in your daily life. So was that an emotional departure?
It was huge. It was scary.
Yeah.
It was the only thing I'd known for my entire adult working life. And I had one more enlisted rank I could have made. I actually had tested for it one time. I could have stayed for 30 years. I could have stayed for another 10 or 11 years. And I made decent money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not partner Jones Day money, but it was okay money. So it was tough. But my wife was getting tired of me getting sent to places like Iraq and Afghanistan, and my son at that time was 4, and kindergarten was creeping up quick. It was just time, we kind of
kudos to you for thinking about your family and your yourself in that family, for making, because I'm sure it's like going, if any of us decided after 20 years to go from like from being a doctor to like being a lawyer, or it's a completely different, like, so you got to go to school for it, like language, style, like network. So that's a big decision, man. Yeah.
It's had its moments, that's for sure.
Yeah. Philip, let's play. Let's play fun Persian game. Okay. I'm gonna ask you your favorites. مورد علاقه که بیشتر دوست داری، از همه چی بیشتر دوست داری. Okay. Favorite غذا.
من از قرمه سبزی خیلی خوشم میاد، از فسنجونم خیلی خوشم میاد و سرش پلو، ولی دوست داشتنی ترین غذای من از کوبیده.
Kubide has gotta be it, man. I know. I agree. Okay, غیر از we say غیر از کوبیده. قرمه سبزی, I heard you.
قرمه سبزی، فسنجون.
نه دیگه یکی غیر از کوبیده قرمه سبزی. اوکی. شیرینی ایرانی دوست داری یا نه؟
بله، بستنی ایرانی دوست دارم.
Oh, بستنی. If you ever go to LA, there is a place that's incredible. گل و بلبل. My friends know it. Okay. لواشک دوست داری یا نه؟
بله.
بله. What flavor?
I didn't know there were more than one.
That's the test. Like, هرچی مادر زنت به داد میخوری؟
بله.
Oh, like eat everything your mother-in-law gives you. Don't do it, Philip. Don't do it. هرچی مادر زنت میده نخور. Okay, لواشک. Okay. گوجه سبز میدونی چیه؟
Yeah, it's the little green tomato looking thing.
Perfect. Okay, now it's gonna get harder.
Uh-oh.
زغال اخته میدونی چیه؟
زغال چی؟
زغال اخته.
زغال لخته. Zogal is like a coal or charcoal, right?
It's spelled differently. It's a little berry, and it's actually from north of Iran. So اگه میگی من رشتیم, if you say you're Rashti, bro, you gotta know this. I'm teaching you something like it's a wild berry, like a dogberry. Sometimes they call it. Maybe it's cool. It's like zereshk. Imagine a blueberry with the flavor of zereshk.
Okay.
So the size of a blueberry, and it grows only in the north of Iran. And it's extremely sour, and people put salt on it, and you just eat it. So it's, but it's pretty popular. So
What's
everyone.
the name again? Zogal chi?
Achte.
Zogal achte.
And achte means, don't ask me. Achte means neutered, but I don't know why they call this thing neutered berry.
That's like the word for popcorn. Cracks me up.
بگو اگه دوست داری بگو. For extra credit.
What? Popcorn? Josephine?
Nice. Okay. Extra 5 points, Philip. I wrote 5 points for you. Okay, no, for real. So awesome. So you guys, so your kid, does he speak half Farsi or no?
So right now my mother-in-law is with us because of COVID, and we stay a little bit more locked down than her sister does. He's forced to use it with her because she doesn't speak English. Yeah. So it kind of ebbs and flows. When she's around, his Farsi improves.
Okay.
When she's not, it kind of withers a little bit, and it's unfortunate. Because of my government work, I can't send them off to Iran. I'm worried. You know what I mean? I would love to send them, let them see their aunts and speak it every day and get really good.
Yeah.
You know, I would love for that.
Like even a summer, right? Kids at that age, even like 2 summers, boom.
Yeah. Yeah. It would lock it in. Yeah.
We'll add that to the litany of pains that the current government caused many, many people. We're even lucky. Some people have it worse, so I agree. Yeah. But hey, Philip, I gotta ask you this, and I'm gonna ask it in English so that your mother-in-law doesn't understand. So wink once if your mother-in-law gives you the randomest things to eat all the time. Like, hey, Philip, we brought this from wherever. You should try it. Bia. Wink once. Okay. No. You're either a lucky man or a smart man, or both.
But I will try anything. I mean, I've had Phillip Patterson. I mean, I will try anything.
That's funny, man. So what else, Philip? What do you want to talk about? We have like said 3 minutes remaining, and then I'm gonna play the song, and you're gonna because we're close to the chorus, and you're gonna do an exit dance out, okay? Because it's Christmas. I'll do it with you.
Who sings that song?
Andy.
It's Andy. I saw Andy at a wedding actually in Virginia. I did a big wedding, and Andy was there. He was the singer.
That's nice. So you guys danced your butts off that night?
Well, so much to my wife's chagrin, I'm not a great dancer unless I've had a few abajos. So it takes a little bit to get me out on the dance floor.
So congrats, man, on being done. Was this 1L first semester?
First semester 2L, so I'm officially halfway through, I guess.
Nice. Okay. The finish line, the end is near.
Yeah, hopefully something good comes up for the summer. You know, that's what I'm focused on right now, is something good for the summer that may lead to something after 3L.
Yeah. I'm confident you'll grab some because you're a gentleman. You're active in the community. You're constantly sharing posts, great posts on LinkedIn, writing, resharing. So everyone, make sure you connect with Philip. He's active. Let's talk actually about that, the Inn of the Court, because I've always heard of them, but I never actually know who they are, what they do, and I think it's a historic organization, so we should all know about it.
Well, I think it originated out of England. I could be wrong. This is the American Inn court. There's bar associations all across the country that have a division of it, and they basically take very experienced attorneys and marry them up with junior attorneys and
Wow.
law students, and then you work together.
In
Yes.
of court.
Yeah, end of courts, I think they call it.
Okay.
Maybe it's an S, or it's ends of court. I'll have to double check. There's an
Yeah.
S somewhere. But you
So it's
work
like a
together.
mentorship match thing.
It is. It is. Yeah,
Okay.
it is. And you do a project and do a presentation at the end of it, where everybody works together and collaborates on it. So it's
So what's the reason for any law student not to join it?
so not everybody gets in. I
Oh,
will ask anybody for anything. If you don't ask, you don't get an answer. And
I see.
COVID hit. I'd seen nothing come out about it, and I said, "Hey, is this going on?" They're like, "Yeah, we're doing it virtually." Come on.
Yeah.
And just like that,
Nice.
I'm
Just
taking
ask.
part. Just asking. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
First step is always the hardest.
it. It is. You know.
People don't do something because they're scared of the 1,000th step. They're like, oh my god, if I do this, I have to like do, I have to go run 10 miles. I can't do that. I'm like, no. It's the first step that's the hardest, not the 10th, not the mile step. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like every step with my journal note right now is hard though.
Oh, dude, doing journal right after you finish finals is brutal.
Yeah.
And at least be happy you're doing it virtually, because in non-virtual law school, half of the kids don't care, so they start partying hardcore. Especially it's 1L 1L after the year is over, right? So like
Yeah.
so like there's 10% of kids like us who's doing blue booking, and 90% you could hear them. They're partying away, and you feel like such a
Yeah.
loser.
I did all my edits already. I just on my own personal note that I have to write. I've got some work to do, so I've got 20 days off, but I don't because I've got so much reading to do. Ugh.
Among other things. All right, so we're gonna play the song, okay? So we're gonna see the outro dance, okay? It's gonna come on. Dude, those of us who are a little older, we have danced a million times to this song.
Is it unscrewing the light bulb?
Oh, nice, okay. دختر گیلان لواش گل اناره Okay, ready? دختریرونی مثل گله چه رنگ و رویی داره بگو کی است کی بهتره هر گل یه بویی داره دختریرونی مثل گله چه رنگ و رویی داره نگو کی است کی بهتره هر گل یه بویی داره. All right, Philip, what a great night, man. I loved it.
Thanks, Ellie, man. It was fun.
Yeah. Say hello to your beautiful wife and son, and have a great holidays. We won't see you, and we'll see you on the other side, man.
Yes, thank you.
Love to you. Good night.
Khudafez.